Hey everyone, welcome to DCF Garage, and today we have here back me and gorgeous wife's W211 Mercedes. It's an E320 2003, and I'm getting a visit workshop message for the Airmatic suspension. You all know how that message is. If you don't, I'm just going to show you right now real quick. And what I need to do, I got with the new Autel Maxi Pro MP808 reader. I'm going to do a few tests to see what it likely is. I suspect it's going to be the Airmatic pump, which they do go bad in these cars very frequently. And this car has 140,000 miles and it's 18 years old. So I suspect the Airmatic suspension might be bad. It's going to be inside the front left wheel well. And so we have to remove the wheel so we can access the Airmatic suspension. We're going to do that, and we're also going to check whether the relay is good or bad. We're going to check the filter, and we're going to try to see if there's any leakage in the valve block. So we're going to do all of that. Stay with me, but first let me show you the message, the error message that I get on the reader. And it comes and goes. So the message right now is only stored because I just did a test with the compressor and it passed the test. But it barely passed the test because it has to build 14 bar of pressure with the valve block closed, with everything closed. It's got to build 14 bar. And it built exactly 14 bar, but the range is 14 to 35. So sometimes when the car's turned off, maybe the battery's a little bit weaker, it's not passing the test, and this stays stored in current. So that's what's going on. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't. So before I just order parts, I want to make sure it's not something like the relay, it's not something like a clogged filter or a leak in the line that is causing this situation and unnecessarily replaced the air pump. Now we got to remove the wheel well cover here in the front. Our pump is going to be inside here, and these are a few 10mm and a couple of Phillips screws. Block, and here is our pump. Here's the filter. So the first test I want to do, I want to disconnect the filter and run the test without the filter to see if that improves the pressure. So that's the first test I want to do. This is 18 years old, so it's common for this to crack. So I don't think the filter is going to be our problem. Since the line is cracked, there is probably no restriction. Now I'm thinking that maybe this sucked something in that didn't go through the filter and possibly there's a clog in the valve block or something. Anyway, so our filter is likely not going to be the culprit, but still I'm going to test it. So with the filter disconnected, we are going to run another test just to rule out that it wasn't a clog in the filter. Okay, even though it passed, it barely passed. It was 14 bar at the end, and it's 14 to 35 bar the range, so it's definitely not building enough pressure. Now I'm going to test the valve block to see if there's any air leakage here. Got some soapy water. So pretty much we've eliminated the leak. No leaks in a valve block. You can still have a valve block that is clogged, but at least we don't have any leaks in the lines. Now what I did, I cut the hose here short just to eliminate the leak that there here. It was the tear And this has improved the pressure. So with the car on, the pump is able to make about 15 bar of pressure and pass the test. So it's a little bit better, but I am, so aside the relay, which I'm gonna have to order a new one, which is very unlikely to be bad, I am really coming to the conclusion that this pump is very, very worn out and needs replacing. So stay tuned.
1 week later.
I bought a new pump, and this is Chinese knockoff. I just didn't want to spend $350, $400 for a new OEM pump. I'm going to try this one first. And this one has a warranty. That's why I paid a little bit more for this one, because it has a 1-year warranty. Of course, if this goes out before, the warranty voids, I'm going to be replacing it. And I also got new filter, and I got a new relay. So before I start working on the car, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to empty the tank, make sure I get all the air out, and I'm going to remove the relay so I have peace to know that it's not going to come on if I accidentally open the door or do something that triggers the pump to go on. I don't want to do that while I'm messing with it. Control unit, I want to go to chassis, suspension. Not sure if this is special functions. Nope, I don't think it's going to be here. Active tests and release pressure in central reservoir. So that's what I want to do. So this is as low as I could get it. It says here when pressure reaches a level of approximately 3 bar. When this is done, the suspension strut can be replaced. So if this is true for the strut, I assume it is true for the pump. So I'm going to leave it at that. And now I'm going to pull the relay out and get the pump out. So the relay for the pump is that one way there at the end. Okay, so got the relay out. Now we can start working on the pump. First thing I'm going to do is disconnect the wiring here. I think this is just push and pull and wiggle, like everything. We go gently. So I got this one out. I know there is a second wire over here, also push and pull. So we got it disconnected. Now there's the air line, and this is a 10 millimeter. Still got some pressure. Yep, not much, thankfully. Okay, got the line out. And theoretically, I have to replace the fitting, the O-ring, but I did not buy a new fitting. So we're gonna work with this one and see, hopefully, that it will work. Over here. And I ordered a new hose for here. I think this is a return hose, but it just got lost in the mail. I mean, FedEx sent it to who knows where. So, and I don't have patience to wait and replace the pump, so I'm gonna keep this old line here. Okay. We got the old filter out, and it's OEM Mercedes. And just make sure that when you replace the filter, you put the new one in the right direction. So it's got a direction, so the air goes upward. So when you put the new one, make sure you put it in the right direction. So this filter does not look good. If you can see inside, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but it's really dirty. And it's loose. I'm not sure it's supposed to be loose. Anyway, this is going to the trash. Now let's get the pump out. The pump is held by these 3 8mm bolts over here. It's got like kind of like a spring here, so it can vibrate. So the pump is kind of heavy, so make sure that you hold it in place before you actually get everything out. Okay, well, the pump is out. It's quite heavy, so be careful. So the pump is out, and it's not OEM. This is not an OEM pump. So that makes, you know, my conscience a little bit better. I'm not replacing OEM with knockoff. I'm replacing knockoff with knockoff. So I'm just going to get these rubber bushings from the pump so I can put it on the new one. Anyway, let's get the new pump set up. So here's the extent of my screw up. I've broken the stud, right, for the pump, and the stud doesn't come out. You have to replace the whole mount, the whole pump mount. And to do that, I'm gonna have to get the bumper out. First, I'm gonna have to get one at the junkyard, then get the bumper out, get the pump out, do all of that good stuff. That be a lesson to you. Don't use power tools on rusty bolts. That's kind of a basic thing. I have no idea why I've done that. Let's get on with it. Where I'm at, I managed to secure the pump. It's somewhat secure. I'm not gonna lie to you, the third stud actually is a zip tie now. I'm not one of those people, but I needed to use the zip tie so I can test it, and then I'm gonna make sure I get the proper mounting bracket for the pump at the junkyard. But for now, that's what it's going to be. Now I'm going to reconnect the line here, and I was supposed to replace this fitting. When I get the new bracket, I will make sure this fitting gets replaced so I don't get any leaks. There you go, snugged it. What else? Let me connect the filter. Now I'm going to put the relay back. Yeah, so it faces this way. I don't think you can get this wrong. It's secure. Now we got the relay. We got everything tidy here. Now let's go back inside. Turn the ignition on. So ignition is on. Let me fill the reservoir. Okay. This pump is significantly louder. It's louder. So the pump is obviously having some suspension problems. I think I'm gonna have to loosen the tie downs. Now that I got the pump properly secured, I'm gonna do a test with the engine on, because as you saw with the engine off, just on battery power, it was building 20 psi, And when I had the engine on before, it would go up to 15, 16 psi. So now let's check with the engine on how much pressure the system's going to build. So we're quickly up to 20 psi, 24. Let me check if there's any leak. Nope, no leak. Let's go back. Yeah, 24, 25. So we don't have leaks. I guess this is just what the pump can do, 25 psi. Let me close things up for now. So we don't seem to have any leaks. We got new filter. The knockoff pump seems to work. I'm just gonna tidy things up here and take it for a test drive. We're going for the ride on the E320. Don't know how much you can see. I think you can see well. It's dark. And so far I haven't gotten any message. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap up the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Do whatever you want to do. And thank you for watching.